What's happening, Jets fans? This is GreenBean, and it is officially game week. Opening day is just a couple of days away, and I, for one, could not be more excited. I know that you're excited as well, so we're going to start getting into these thought processes about how can we actually make something out of this season. We know we have boatloads of question marks. Question mark after question mark. Young guy, rookies, undrafted free agents, second-year guys, new quarterback, rookie head coach, offensive coordinator that's never done it before, and on and on and on. So, when you look at all those question marks, we have to come to a point here where we say, okay, that's great. How do we win this game? So game one, the New York Jets are heading down to Carolina to face the Sam Darnold-led Panthers. The NFL knows what they're doing. This is a fantastic way to begin the season. Lots on the line here. Not so much as far as, playoff implications, division rivals or anything like that, but it's emotional. This is as drama-filled and emotional of a story as you could possibly get, especially where we are concerned. We drafted a quarterback third overall just a handful of years ago and then traded him to the Panthers for a second-round pick, a fourth-round pick, and a sixth-round pick in the previous 2021 draft. We basically said, we don't think he can be the guy for us. And Carolina basically said, we think he can. So they're betting on him, we bet against him, and here we are. So how do we beat these guys? Last year they had the 21st ranked offense. Now, is that anything to write home about? No, but look at what happened. In fairness, they didn't have Christian McCaffrey last year. By and large, their number one weapon, both on the ground and in the air. He has an impact in both parts of that game, and losing him was just about as big of a hit as a team could take. But since then, they have added quite a few pieces. They added in the draft Terrace Marshall, fantastic wide receiver, and another guy in the sixth round who I liked a whole bunch, Shi Smith, who actually ended up being their highest ranked offensive player in the preseason. So Sam Darnold is going to get the weapons that we have, as Jets fans, have complained that he never had here. And even more interesting is the one weapon that we did have here for the first 2 years that he was here, Robby Anderson. He's down there in Carolina as well. So what are we going to do? How do the Jets, with a guy like C.J. Mosley coming back after 2 years not playing, injury and then the opt-out last year. We have two rookie linebackers starting next to him. We have rookies in the cornerback. The guy with the most experience is Bryce Hall playing in his big fat second year. So how are we going to stop their offense? It really boils down to one thing, and one thing only. You see, it turns out that the Carolina Panthers, their offensive line is in big trouble. They weren't too good before this most recent injury to their guard, John Miller. He's going to be replaced by a guy named Dennis Daly, who I think he has 2 or 3 starts in his entire career. And when he did start, we wanted to talk about Dan Feeney being bad. This guy's right in that stratosphere, but a tick or two lower than Dan Feeney played, and he's going to be starting. They did bring a guy on named Deontay Brown, but he's out for this game, so he can't even fill in and try to help out. We have a couple more familiar names. Pat Elflein, who finished the year with us last year, decent. Let's just call him a decent guard, but he's going to be depended on to be a starting caliber guard, and I don't know. Let's just say that there are a lot of question marks about Pat Elflein. And then you have Paradis, who a couple of years ago, many Jets fans were hoping the Jets would bring in. We didn't. Carolina did, and he's been down there ever since. But if you look at his numbers, he's been slowly degrading into the age abyss over the past couple years. So even though he at one time was one of the best centers in the entire league, that's not so much the case anymore. Still solid, but able to be beaten. And you look at the Jets' strength, it just so happens to be our defensive line. Now, we did take a couple hits in losing Carl Lawson and Vinny Curry. So we're going to be starting some guys. Shaq Lawson, we traded for him. He's been with us for a hot 10 days. Then you have Bryce Huff on the other side, John Franklin Myers. So our edge has question marks, more and more question marks. But here's what it's going to take. This is it. Sam Darnold does not do well with pressure in his face. Again, it just so happens that our strength of our defensive line happens to be right there in his face. So Joe Brady's smart enough that he's not going to leave Sam Darnold sitting there right in front of the strength of our defense. He's going to be giving him rollouts. How many times have we said that, Jets fans? You got to get Sam out of the pocket. Give him time. And Adam Gase just wasn't smart enough to do that. I have a sneaking suspicion that Joe Brady is. So he's going to try to give Sam as much time as he can, designed rollouts and the like. And I also think that there's going to be a lot of screens, a lot of short passes, dump offs, if you will, to one Christian McCaffrey. So the first thing is you got to get in Sam Darnold's face. They're going to do something to try to counteract that. We have to be better. We have to exploit their weakness, which is their offensive line. You have to go full bore, full tilt, 100% at their offensive line, the interior of it too. Stay away from the right side of their line. That's where they got a guy over there. It's pretty good. Their right tackle's pretty good. You want to stay away from there if you can. You want to send as much pressure up the gut and get Sam's feet hopping around. Once that happens, he becomes inaccurate. He becomes nervous. He gets the happy feet going, and all bets are off as far as what Sam Darnold can do. So that is number one. Again, what they're going to try to do is get it from Sam Darnold as quickly as they can to Christian McCaffrey to try to loosen it up. But here's the thing with Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was injured last year. Devastating injury, out all year, has not played in the preseason. Quite frankly, we don't know what version we're going to get of Christian McCaffrey. Is he going to be rusty? Is he going to come right back and be Christian McCaffrey? More than likely, he's going to be good. Right? Fair enough. But more than likely, he's going to be rusty. So let's take advantage of the rust with what? Our speed on the defensive side of the ball, our linebackers, Jamie Sherwood, Hamza Nasruddin, C.J. Mosley, cerebral, fast linebackers. That's what we have to do. We have to focus on Christian McCaffrey, and don't forget about Chuba Hubbard. He's another one that's dangerous. We got to make it so they're wide receivers, which is a very strong portion of their offense. Robby Anderson, DJ Moore, Terrace Marshall, and the rest of them, they're good. They have a good set of receivers running around out there with our young, untested, unproven secondary out there. So how do we do it? It all boils down to two things, guys. We focus on Christian McCaffrey, and to a slightly less degree, Chuba Hubbard. You take them out of the game. And then you take away all the skill that those receivers have by doing one thing. And that's what we saw going on for the past 3 years. Sam Darnold has a very weak offensive line, and he happens to not be able to handle pressure well. So, you focus on Christian McCaffrey in the running game, just take him out. Take them out of the game, make Sam Darnold have to beat you, and then you pressure him right in his face. Guys, it just so happens that this is a realistic goal. We're not talking about going out there and beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 1. That's not what we're talking about. This happens to be Sam Darnold, who we know better than anyone, with a weak offensive line, which is what Sam has had for the majority of his career. Robby Anderson, DJ Moore, all those guys can't do a damn thing if Sam Darnold is off. So that's how you do it. Now, what do we do on the offensive side of the ball? It's really simple. We bring out a simple yet complex game plan. You like that? Simple yet really entailed. That's what you have to do. You got to put it in Zach Wilson's hands, what he can digest, nice and slow, implement everything smoothly, ball control offense. Our wide zone is made for this line and these running backs. We happen to have a strong group. If AVT and Becton stay healthy, this might be the strongest offensive line we've had in, 8 or 9 or 10 years, truthfully. So with that being said, our running backs can get 5 yards a clip. We're going to be good. Ball control offense. Let Zach Wilson take his shots when he needs to. Nice, well-placed shots. Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Denzel Mims, and let the running backs take the game over. That's what we need to do. In addition to pressuring Sam, you keep him on the bench all day. When he comes in, he has that added stress of having to do something. 3rd and long, all those kinds of stressful scenarios. That's how you beat the Carolina Panthers. So here's what I'm going to tell you. That's what we're going to do because we have a real head coach. We have a real coaching staff. They're going to know to do the things that I'm talking about with you right now, and we're going to see it happen. This is not an easy one. I don't want to make it sound like that. Carolina's a good team. 18th ranked defense, 21st ranked offense. They're good. They're not great. They're good. They've added some nice pieces. They're good. But they have Sam Darnold, and we happen to know how to beat them. So don't forget to like and subscribe. You can follow me right here. I'm going to have daily content all season. We're also going to be able to get things going on Instagram, GreenBeanJetsfan, Twitter, BeanTheJetsFan, and as always, Jetnation's YouTube and Jetnation.com. Let me know what you think. Am I way off? Am I off here? Let me know what you think. How are we going to beat the Carolina Panthers? And whether or not we're going to beat them, go ahead and give me your prediction for your score. We'll go from there. Go Jets.